here's what's also true as you go about your life experience and you interact with those, even those perhaps you are not in a close relationship with, but perhaps you have a friend or you have an acquaintance. You'll notice that when those individuals start to interact with you and start to share their thoughts and perspectives, we want you to be aware that when that is shared, that what you are hearing when you have a conversation with anyone is a reflection of the contents of their consciousness. What is coming out of their mouth is a reflection of their mental construct. It's not a reflection of truth. It may be a reflection of their truth in the moment, but it's not a reflection of capital T truth in terms of a truth that is in alignment with source energy, with your higher selves. Most people are living within the constraints or the limitations of their own mental construct. Most people are not exploring their mental construct and starting to ask themselves what they could repattern, review, release, let go of. And so when you go out into your world and you interact, when you have these conversations, you'll clearly start to see that when these individuals are interacting with you, they're just revealing what's going on within their own minds. The reason that this is important to understand is because if you don't see that that is what's actually happening, and if you do not practice self-awareness in the moment when you're having these conversations, when someone shares the contents of their consciousness with you, and that individual is really feeling that they are expressing some truth about the world or about life or about themselves, if you don't see that they're just in their mental construct, then that energy that's being projected at you and shared with you has the power to influence you, unless you realize and recognize in that moment that that person is not expressing truth, they're expressing a mental construct. Because if you are not self-aware from moment to moment to moment to moment, you have a tendency to be influenced. So you may not realize that those thought forms, those perspectives, those opinions are coming at you, they're being shared with you, and they have the power to influence you, unless in the moment you are really in your own energy body, really in your own truth. There are some boundaries going on, and you recognize that anyone can share their thought forms with you, but you have the power to decide whether you want to take on that thought form or if you want to think something differently. Very often when people share their thought forms with you, what you will notice is a plethora of limitation. We would say from our perspective that it's very rare that individuals are partaking in expansive thinking, meaning thinking that expands the boundaries of what they have thought up until this point. Most people are on a sort of hamster wheel of thinking exactly what they have thought for the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And even if they are not thinking the exact same thoughts, they are thinking on the same bandwidth or the same frequency or the same vibration, meaning they may be thinking something slightly different, but because it carries the same vibrational tone, it's really not going to shift anything in their reality. They're going to experience the reflection of that vibration. So we say all of this because what we feel when we tune in to each and every one of you, whether you're listening live or on the rebroadcast, on the replay, is that you are all expansive in nature. You are in touch with your expansiveness in terms of being a unlimited eternal being. And what that means is that if you can really tune in to yourself as an expansive being, then you also have the capacity to be an expansive thinker. In other words, you have the capacity to choose new thought forms, new belief systems, new perspectives, new opinions, and new emotions that go along with all of those things. You have the capacity to choose thought forms, beliefs, perspectives that are on a very different frequency or a very different vibration than all of the thought forms you have held within the contents of your consciousness up until this point. So in this moment, take a breath. And we'd ask you to just close your eyes and start to feel into the part of yourself within that is expansive in nature. And really start to feel that energetically. So it begins with the acknowledgement that you are an expansive being. And along with that expansiveness, there really is no limitation other than any limitation that your mental construct or your mind places on the energy that is you. So in this moment, If you can just tune in to your expansiveness, to your vastness, to your unlimited, infinite nature, and you can start to feel that in your energy body. So this is the first step, is starting to feel into your expansiveness, acknowledging that that feels resonant, that feels like truth. And then as you welcome that truth into your physicality, into your energy body, you'll start to become aware that what goes along with that is, again, this capacity to be an expansive thinker, to think, to perceive, to welcome new thought forms, new ideas, new perspectives that are outside of the bandwidth of that which you have previously thought or perceived. And starting to notice that as you welcome this expansive energy and this invitation for expansive thinking, that your emotional body also responds with perhaps a feeling of lightness, a feeling of expansiveness, obviously, a feeling of perhaps joy, bliss, new beginnings, a feeling of possibility. And again, it doesn't have to start by trying to seed a new thought form. It can start very simply by just acknowledging yourself as an expansive being and acknowledging that that feels true. And when we say true, what we mean by that is that that perspective, that idea, that thought is in alignment with source energy and with your true self. It feels true. It feels true that I am a light being, an infinite being, and because I am that, I am also expansive in nature, ever expanding, ever evolving. And so just feeling in this moment the impact of that acknowledgement. How does that feel? And as you do so, you're welcoming in that energy that is the true you to fill your auric field, to start to influence and affect your physicality, spiritualizing your cells, filling them with light. Now vibrating in alignment with a higher frequency, one that is more in alignment with your higher self and less in alignment with the mental constructs that dominate your planet that have to do with separation, limitation, fear, doubt, worry, manipulation, survival. So it's as if you're rising above the clouds. If you've ever been on an airplane and you start to take off in the airplane on a very cloudy day and everything looks murky and bleak and dark. But as you rise up through the clouds, it's bright and sunny and happy and joyful. This is the process. Rising above the clouds that are the dominant mental constructs that have to do with limitation, and then feeling the expansiveness on the other side of that as you rise above it. And so take a very deep breath and feel that expansiveness as you simultaneously feel the earth underneath you. Making sure that you are grounded and connected to Mother Earth as you welcome this expansive energy to fill your energy body, and you're becoming the emanation, the embodiment of your true self. As you embody your true self, there's a clearing, a cleansing, a release of all that does not serve this higher frequency. So feel as if you are releasing baggage, density, lower frequency, thought forms, lower frequency debris. Just feel as if that is starting to drop away and drain down into the earth underneath you. As you do so, feel the lightness, the expansiveness. Feel a sense of bliss, the bliss of connecting with Source. And so in this state of being, this expanded state of being. We welcome any and all of your questions, anything that is on your mind, on your heart on this day. How can we serve you in this moment in time?